Hey everybody, welcome to Chapter 8 of TrendSpider University. Today we're going to go over the two types of alerts that you can create on TrendSpider. The first one being the dynamic alert, which is anything on the upper side of the chart. So creating an alert on trend lines, moving averages, Bollinger Bands, anything of that nature where price interacts with that indicator or level on the chart. The next one is the multi-factor alert, which allows you to create different conditions at which price or candlestick patterns or moving averages cross, the ability to almost essentially create your own visual algorithm and get alerted when all of those conditions are met. So if you do want to add either one, you can go to create alert right here, and you'll see you can create an indicator or trend line alert or a multi-factor alert. Now, before we jump into the different types of alerts, I do want to go over how you can create the different notifications on the platform so you can get an alert through your phone, through SMS, or through your email. So go to the top right, click your name, go to account and settings, and then you'll see this notifications tab pops up. Now, you can either add your email or your SMS or both. So anytime that you see these pink check marks, you'll know that this is now enabled, and you'll get your alert through your email or your SMS, as well as a webhook. If you're in a particular Discord room or a community where you want to share your webhook, you can enter your URL here and you can send alerts through this as well. So these are the three different ways that you can get notifications through our alert system. And if you're trading crypto or something that's trading overnight, such as Forex, you can choose the ability to not get alerts through your email or SMS while you're sleeping, and you can define the times here. You can also disable alerts on the weekends if you don't want to get any alerts on the weekends. So this is how you can do that. Any changes that you make sure to click save, and then you're good to go to get these alerts moving forward. Now let's jump into the first type of alert, which is the dynamic alert. The dynamic alert, as I mentioned, is anything on the upper side of the chart. So creating an alert on trend lines, moving averages, Bollinger Bands, Fibonacci levels, anything that is actually interacting with price. So let's take Boeing, for example, here. We have this symmetrical triangle. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you could trade this symmetrical triangle. Some people are going to wait until the price breaks to the upside or the downside. Some people want to maybe just trade within this area and trade when the price gets close to the top, you sell. When the price gets close to the bottom, you buy. There's a lot of different ways to trade. So the alert system caters to all of these different strategies. And so what you can do is you can right click on the symmetrical triangle resistance in this case, and you can see that these different triggers pop up. So we have breakthrough, touch, and bounce. We have something called sensitivity, which allows you to increase or decrease the area that you want to be alerted at. We have the confirmation candle, which allows you to confirm which time frame you want to be alerted on. So the confirmation candle of the session means that you're not going to get an alert until once the daily or the session candle is done for the day. So you may have a candle that moves up into this purple area and then it pulls back. You won't get the alert until the daily candle, or the session candle as we call it on the platform, is closed. So this is something that you really want to make sure that you have changed, especially if you are someone that wants that intraday alert. I like to use the 10-minute candle here. So the confirmation on the 10-minute means that whenever the 10-minute candle closes anywhere within this purple area, you'll be alerted. The next one is alert name. You can see here, this is a randomly generated name that we have. You can easily change this to, let's say, resistance above. You can change whatever you want on your note, so you can have it blank, or you can change it to short here, or take profits here. Whatever you want to add here, you'll get this in the message. So when you get your text message or your email, you'll remember, okay, this is what I wanted to do for this particular stock. Especially if you have a lot of different alerts created, you may forget exactly what you were looking at on that particular stock if it's not right in front of you. So you can add your notes here. You can choose your expiration. You can choose how long you want this alert to stay active. And after, let's say, 15 days, it will expire, and then you'll have to create a new one. The next one is how many times you want this alert to go off. You can have this up to 20 times to trigger. So that means if the price action bounced up to 20 times over the next 15 days, you'll get 15 different alerts. So keep that in mind when using the dynamic alert system. The breakthrough is anytime the price actually breaks through the line. And this would be someone who's maybe only trading a breakout through a pattern. So in this case, maybe you only want to trade Boeing if it breaks to the upside through the symmetrical triangle. Or maybe you're someone that simply just wants to sell at resistance and you want to sell within, let's say, around $1. You'll see that this purple area gets smaller as we move this sensitivity to the left. If you move it to the right, it's going to get bigger. So the touch feature allows you to be alerted anytime the price touches anywhere within this purple area. The bounce is going to happen whenever the price touches the buffer area but does not break through on the next candle. So there are 3 different ways that you can have price action interacting with these levels, and you choose based on your strategy and your trading style which one that you want. One of my favorite things to do, because I like to trade more breakouts or breakdowns, if I'm looking at a symmetrical triangle like Boeing for this case, I would move the sensitivity all the way to the left. And I would simply want to know whenever the price breaks through this resistance line, I want to be alerted. So I'd create alert. I'd also create another alert here. And you'll see here I do the same thing, move the sensitivity all the way to the left. And you'll see that I'll go to the 10-minute candle here and we'll name this support below. Maybe short here on breakdown. Choose my expiration. Choose how many times I want this to go off. Create the alert, and now I don't have to stare at the chart all day. The system is now showing exactly where I'm going to be alerted, and now I don't have to, wait around and possibly get emotional saying, oh, well, this chart looks really good. I'm just going to buy before it breaks out. That's not sticking to a plan. These alerts allow you to stick to a plan, and they allow you to really stick to a process, and possibly your process is as simple as I'm not making a trade until the price breaks to the upside or the downside. Now, another way that you can use the alert system, as I mentioned, you can use the sensitivity feature. This is great for instances like this where the price action may not test the exact trend line above. So in this case, notice there's a couple times where we don't actually touch this resistance area, but it was a reversal point. So if you go in, create the alert, you'll see as I move this sensitivity all the way over to the right, you'll see now we are actually taking into account some of these candles that weren't actually part of the alert when we just had the sensitivity all the way to the left. So if you're somebody that wants to trade zones rather than exact levels or breakouts or breakdowns, this is a great feature to use, and you can use this on the touch or bounce area. The breakthrough area, the price actually has to break through that line. So you're really not going to use sensitivity on the breakthrough trigger here. So there's a lot of different ways you can use this. As I mentioned, this isn't a trend line example. Now you can also use this on, as I mentioned, Bollinger Bands. You can use this on moving averages. So anything that's interacting with price, you can see here price is interacting with it. So let's do a Bollinger Band. Same thing, let's remove these trend lines. And you'll see here, if I wanted to be alerted anytime the price touches this lower Bollinger Band, all I have to do is right click, create an alert at this line, and you'll see the sensitivity is the exact same on a Bollinger Band as it is on the trend lines. You're just defining your zone, and you'll see the alert fires within $1.96 of the selected line, and you'll be able to go about your day and be alerted anytime the price gets there, and you'll know it's time to get back to the screen and see if you need to make a trade. So as I mentioned, trend lines, moving averages, if you have fib levels, we talked about in the multi-time frame analysis. If you're using multi-time frame analysis, you can create an alert on that upper band or lower band if you're using Bollinger Bands. So a lot of different ways you can do this. Now, one thing I will mention, let's go back to a trend line here. Maybe we draw, this trend line here, and we want to create an alert. We'll just do this really quickly, create alert. You'll see this little tag is here on the bottom of this trend line. If you want to remove this tag so it's not polluting your chart or just something that's distracting, you can go to the icon here, which is just the gear icon for settings. And you'll see here that you can move the alert label left or right. So you can make these bigger or smaller. And you'll see here that in this case, if you don't want it at all, just move it all the way to the left and it will disappear. But your sensitivity will still stay there, so you know there is an alert active. So this is a great way to use the dynamic alert system, and as I mentioned, it's something that is available on the upper side of the chart but not on the lower side of the chart. So what I mean by that is if you're looking at a MACD, you're not going to be able to put sensitivity on one of these MACD lines. It's just more or less anything that's interacting with the price and the candles that you're looking at. Now the next one is multi-factor alerts. The way that you can get to multi-factor alerts is by simply going to create alert and going to multi-factor alert. Now before we do that, let's add a couple lower indicators, maybe the RSI and maybe the MACD here. And maybe your specific strategy is simply, I want to enter Boeing whenever the RSI crosses above this center line around 50 and when the MACD crosses to the upside. So this blue line crosses through this yellow line. What you can do is you can go to, as I mentioned, create alert, multi-factor alert, name this whatever you'd like, possible reversal. You can add a note, very similar to the other alert on the dynamic alert side of things. Go long on this alert signal. You can choose your expiration. You can choose how many times you want this to go off through the when triggered here. You can choose all the way up to 20 times as the other one as well. And then you can either choose all of the following or any of the following. Maybe you just want one of these to go off. Maybe you just need the RSI to break above or the MACD to cross to the upside. You can change these conditional trees, essentially what they are, to any of the following to all of the following. So maybe you're looking for a bullish candlestick close on Boeing, and you want to look for 5 different candlestick patterns closing, and you only need one of them to actually trigger to get the alert. Go to add parameter here, condition, and you'll see here that on top of that you have condition, group, and or. So we'll go over that here in a second. But the first one is, this is our first condition tree. Any of the following need to happen. So condition, let's say daily candlestick pattern. We'll type in bull. Maybe we want a bullish engulfing. Maybe we also want to look for a daily bullish harami. We want to look for a daily bullish belt hold. And we also are okay with a bullish kicker. So if any 4 of these occur, you'll get an alert. They can't all 4 happen at the same time. You can only have one of these happen at once. So any of the following means that if any of these candles go off or form, you'll get the alert. So anything on the daily candle as an engulfing bullish, harami, bullish belt hold, or bullish kicker, any 4 of these form, you'll get the alert. Now, you can also use all of the following, and this would kind of be impossible. You can't have all of the following form at the same time. So maybe you want the daily bullish engulfing to form. You also want the daily RSI to cross up through the constant level of 50. And then you also want the daily, in this case, you just click indicator, go down to the MACD here. So the MACD, which is blue, crossed up through the indicator, and the second one we're looking at is the MACD yellow, which is the signal line. So you click indicator again, crossed up through the daily, and you can see these are color-coded to MACD signal. So here you are, you've got your bullish engulfing candle, you've got your RSI breaking above 50, and you have your MACD crossing to the upside. You need all of these to happen in order to get this alert. It's not any of the following anymore. It's all of the following. Now, let's say that you have all of the following here, and you want to add another conditional tree. So all of these need to happen, but you can also add condition or group, and you can add another tree here. And maybe the next tree is you want a weekly indicator, the SMA 20 crossed up through the maybe the weekly SMA 50. Or you need the weekly indicator, and you need the the Williams percent range to cross up through the constant level of -50. So now you have all of the following criteria need to happen here, and then you only need one of the two here to go off. So click the drop down, go to any of the following. So whenever all of these three conditions occur and one or the other happens, so whether that's the SMA 20 crosses up through the SMA 50 on the weekly side, or the weekly Williams percent range crosses up through -50, you'll get that alert. So this allows you to create a pretty complex conditional tree and really almost make your own algorithm from a visual standpoint. So this is something that's really nice. If you did want to go in and test this strategy before you create an alert, maybe one of your friends, or maybe you saw something on YouTube that said, this set of conditions has a 100% win rate. You can go and test that strategy out through the strategy tester, and you can say, I want to test this as an entry condition, and I want to see, after 10 trading days have happened. Or maybe you want to add a script. I want to know once the MACD crosses to the downside, what's the return. So you can use the strategy tester with the alert system, and you can go in and create your entry condition. And let's say the strategy tester comes back positive and your strategy beats the overall buy and hold strategy on the market. You can just click alert me next time this happens. It will take you back to the alert window here, and you're able to go in and create the alert. So the multi-factor alerts are something that are really great to use, and it can be very efficient too, right? You can go in and you can actually save this as a template. So you can save all of the following, and maybe you want to name this bullish breakout potential, or whatever you want to name it. Once you save this, you can look it up again in the script manager, and you can use this in a strategy tester without having to go through the alert. And you can use this in the market scanner. So all you have to do is click save. And once we do that, you'll see here that if you go to scripts and we go to potential breakout, bullish breakout potential, and one thing I'll mention here is you don't have to have the exact wording. If you just have poten, which is part of potential, it will pull up all of these scripts that you have that have this word in it. So click on bullish breakout potential. You'll see here that you can see the script again. You can share it. If you want to share this with a group or one of your friends, you can do that. So click yes, and you'll be able to go and share this. Or you can unshare, click yes. You can send it to the strategy tester, or you can put this as an entry or an exit in the strategy tester, not just as an entry. And you can also use this in the scanner as well. So if you go to scripts, you can look at any script that you have saved, and then let's say that you want to go to, Apple or Home Depot. You can go in and you can go and let's get rid of this strategy tester here. You can go in and essentially go to create alert, multi-factor alert, without putting any of these parameters in. Just go to load from template, go to bullish potential, bullish breakout potential, and you can select this template and it will automatically pop up in your alert platform. So the multi-factor alerts are really just dynamic in the ability to create a set of conditions. You can do this on multiple time frames as well. So it's not just one single time frame, as we just talked about. You could go, daily, bullish engulfing candle. You could change this to the weekly. Anytime that you want to change any of these conditions, or you want to edit a condition, maybe you want to use the RSI 20. Just click on the indicator here. So anything that's purple, you can edit. So click on RSI. You can change your upper threshold to maybe 80 and your lower to 25. You can change the length to 20. You can do all of those things by simply just clicking on it. And then, as I mentioned, you can change the time frames as well. So maybe you want a daily bullish engulfing, a weekly RSI crossing up through 50, and then you want a 15-minute MACD crossing to the upside. Just easily change these around, and it's very easy to edit these. So this is both of the alert systems. The dynamic alert system, as I mentioned, is anything on that upper side of the chart, the trend lines, the moving averages, Bollinger Bands. The multi-factor alerts are anything that you're really creating conditions for, simply using that Boolean algebra type of conditional logic, so you don't have to go in and script anything. So there's a lot of different capabilities that you can do using these alerts, and the whole point of the alert system is to make your life easier, make trading more efficient, make it less emotional, and stick to a process, whether that's waiting for the 3 sets of conditions that you've created to happen, waiting for a trend line to break, either price breaking to the upside or the downside on a specific pattern. And this is hopefully a video that explains all of these different things. And remember, if you have any other questions, we do have the customer success team that can answer any further questions you have. And let's move on to the next chapter.